All right, today on the podcast, we have got the kingpin, the president of the Cpbc, Don Collette. Don, how's it going?
Good, Tanner. Yourself.
I'm tired today, Don. I went hunting yesterday. I was up at 3 o'clock in the morning, drove 2 hours, got a deer, then I didn't get in until about 10 o'clock at night, and I was exhausted.
Yeah. You get one?
I did, yeah, I got a buck.
Oh,
So we'll
good.
be,
Steaks.
yeah, we'll be
Yeah.
eating good for a while now. So you're the president of the CPBC. The CPBC came back into effect, I believe it was in 2011 from a 10-year hiatus in the 90s, right?
Came back. We registered it in '07.
Okay.
That's
So
basically where we started from.
tell me a little bit about tell everybody a little bit about the CPBC because in Canada, we, generally in boxing, we kind of glamorize the WBC, WBA, IBF, WBO titles. These NABA titles, they're kind of up there too with the WBA rankings, but we don't know a whole hell of a lot about our Canadian titles.
Um, well, it's ask me a question and then I'll give you the answer
Okay,
because that's a subject it's a little. Um,
okay, well, give me a little bit of background on the CPBC, what happened in the 90s and previous before that, and what you guys
well,
are doing now.
the CPVC was founded by Vince Bagnetto. Um, I, I'm not sure the exact year, 76, 78. I actually have a book here written by Vince Bagnetto
Okay.
that a friend of mine, Joe Barley, gave me a couple of years ago, and I just finished reading it, so I'm not couldn't consider a bookworm. Anyway, uh, it started in around those years, and it ran through to somewhere around, I'm saying, mid to late 90s. And I mean, Vince was getting up in age at that time, and I guess he just, he just got out of it. He never really shut it down. It just kind of went dormant. And I actually made a call to him personally and gave me his blessing to wish me the best of luck. Sadly, he passed away before we got our first fight. So, but that's basically where we started from. Like I said, we registered in '07 and just took off from there. And we did our first title fight in Montreal, which is a humongous achievement in a sense because you're talking the Vegas of boxing in Canada,
Yeah.
you know. So um, as far as where we rate, I mean, for the last, I'm saying 6 years at least, we've considered ourselves to be number one. And I think we are because we're the ones that are doing a lot of these, fights. We've pulled away from these 8 round Canadian title fights that are just not good for the sport, as far as I'm concerned. The sport's hurting enough as it is, and every time you do things, it's just a mark against it.
So the CPBC title fights are a minimum 10 rounds.
Only the regional titles are 8.
Okay.
Any Canadian, anything else is 10 rounds. We've had a 12-round international in Virginia last year. So, it
Gary
didn't go.
Copus Gary Copus's international fight was a 12-round fight, was it not?
His first one, I think, was a 10.
Okay.
You know, it's, how can I say that? It's, if the fighter requests a 12 round, we honor it,
Okay.
because we know the standard in Canada for anything besides a world title fight is usually 10 rounds. So, but Cody Crowley stated his next fight he wanted it 12 rounds.
I like Cody. He's a tough dude, man.
He's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I've
So
watched him in 3 fights, and he just improved so much from one fight to the next. Um, but you know the old saying: you do the work, and you get the results.
Well, I had Danny Mack. He's one of your guys on the podcast a little while ago, and I asked him a question on there, and it had to do with the CPBC and the NCC and why we can't. Well, why, like with the option of maybe unifying Canadian titles, and he said that that could never happen, and then he said the guy to talk to about that would be you.
Well, Danny Mack
Yeah.
is kind of my right hand man, a smart guy. Well, I'll tell you exactly what happened uh, from our point of view. When we came out in '07 and did our first title fight, we got some horrible flack from the old CBF and some people out west Edmonton area. Mostly they know they are. I won't name any names. Just cutting us up. We'd never last. Canada didn't need another sanctioned body. Blah 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 blah. Okay, so here we are in 2018, on top of the game. But in that time, the CBF relinquished sanctioning rights, became for a short time a governing body, I believe, just enforcing rules. I don't think that panned out, but we ran, and I think 2 or 3 years later, they come out with the NCC, calling it a continuation of the CBF. Well, that to me is not right, because a continuation, for example, the CPBC, let's say 78 to 96, CPBC 07 and on, that's a continuation. Same name, same organization, different people, but you go from a CBF to an NCC. But that was all right. And we went to rules meetings for title fights for the longest time, saying that we would unify with legitimate Canadian titles. So the NCC, other titles. We don't recognize or unify with NABA Canada. It has no rankings. As far as we're concerned, it's not a real title. And they're honoring 8-round Canadian title fights, which we don't. So anyways, what happened? A fight came about between Eric Martel and what was his name? I got it on the end of my tongue there.
Dylan Carmen?
No, it was before that. He was the champion. Nevin Paget.
Okay.
So it was building up for both Canadian title fights. First time in Canadian history that there was going to be unification, which everybody was looking forward to, even us. Now, for all these years, we've been going and saying that we would unify and blah, blah, blah. Anyways, Nevin Paget retires. So in comes Dylan Carmen. And of course, commission says, oh, he can't fight 10 rounds. He can only fight 8. Well, in my book, if you can fight 8, you can fight 10. But anyways, it was going to be an 8-round Canadian title fight. We said, no, we don't do that. The sport's hurting enough. So we pulled out. Well, the NCC went on to do this 8-round Canadian title fight. And Carmen won the fight. So, and from there on, some of their guys fought for our title, and they ended up stripping them. Wow. So they never really had any intentions of unifying or sharing the what do you call it, the podium. It's just all about them, and it's them or nothing. So we just went along our merry way, and we don't even recognize the NCC title anymore because of. And they went on to do 8 round Canadian title fight. just it's just not good for this. And you know, when we pulled out of that fight, we got a lot of people that pat our backs and saying, "You guys did the right thing." You know.
See, I would love to be able to see all the Canadian titles be unified. Like even if they're who fucking cares? There's got to be one that's the big one, like the WBC. That's the big one in the world, right? So like, why can't we
Well,
have a big one in Canada, like the CPBC, and then have lesser titles?
it is. The WBC is the big one. I mean, it's the most recognized, I guess, world title. But even them, they're becoming. They got a title for everything under the sun. I'm surprised they didn't come out with a plumber's title yet. I mean, they got this francophone title now,
Yep.
and who 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 Simon Keane had it, defended it against Adam Braidwood, who's not a francophone.
Yep.
So why was that even allowed? And then lately, Dylan Carmen. I don't, and I'm not condemning Dylan. I mean, he's a nice guy. I like the guy, good champion, but he's not a francophone. So, you know, I'm saying if you're going to do that stuff, keep it real.
Well, if you're gonna do a francophone title, it probably should be fucking dealt with in a real French place like Paris, not just
Well,
Quebec.
yeah,
Like there's only a
but,
certain
but
amount
that's
of
what I
people there.
mean. It's now become it's like an infestation of some kind of virus. It's all about the money, and get the belts out there as much as you can. I mean, you know, but as far as being the big, I consider the CPBC the big one in Canada. I mean, we're all over the map. Uh, you know, I'm working on the title fight right now, women's heavyweight international title fight in the States in
Okay.
December. So, you know,
That'd be an international title fight. Yep. Okay.
yeah.
So I know that we probably can't drop news on this, but Gary Copus was supposed to fight Jean Pascal for the Canadian. Gary's going to defend his Canadian championship. Unfortunately, that's fell through. But I'm not going to ask you to drop any kind of like news or anything, but will we see a Canadian or an international fight on that card?
I can pretty much guarantee you'll see one or the other.
Okay.
I would suspect mostly an international.
Okay.
There's not a lot of guys in Canada of choice. Um, you know, we have more. There's a lot more variety of opponents for him on the international level, or even North American. So the show will go on. We're just waiting right now. We should know Monday for another opponent.
Okay. And Cody Crowley, obviously, he'll be on that card. And will he be defending one of his belts?
Cody Crowley will not be defending.
Okay.
He will be attempting to grab the third belt, which is the North American belt.
Oh, wow. So there's...
Cody is the guy's remarkable. He wants all the CPBC belts. So this will be, if he gets this one, he'll have them all.
So what do we have then? We have the CPBC Canadian Championship. Then we have the North American title and the international title.
And that's it. Yeah.
Okay.
In between, or it would be a step below, I guess, but it's a 10 round. We have the interim title also. We've only put it out once. You know, an interim title is usually you use it and you have two guys that fight, and the winner, it basically forces the champion.
Yeah.
He has to defend against the interim champion on his next defense. So Paul Bisdell won the interim.
I've never seen a CPBC North American title. I've seen the Canadian one because Gary has it, and I've seen the international one. So what does the North American one look like?
It's a beautiful belt.
Okay.
It kind of looks, it's the same, it's a vintage Indian red color, kind of like the NABO belt. It's a nice belt.
Is that the same center plate as the Canadian title, or is it different,
No,
like the international?
it's totally different than the international and Canadian.
Okay.
It has the bird on top, and it has the three Mexico, Canadian, and American flag. It's got I thought I had a picture of it somewhere. Maybe I'll send it to you.
Send it to me, and then I can put it in the video.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm excited to see it. I like the international title. Are you going to read? I've had a lot of questions that people ask me. I don't mind the Canadian title; it's all right. But are you going to redo it?
We were asked that, and that's been the belt from day one, and probably not because it's our trademark.
Mm,
It's everybody likes that belt.
yeah.
I remember going to a fight in I think it was Calgary one time, and went to a weigh-in, and somebody, I don't remember the guy's name. Somebody in the audience was close to them. Anyway, we hadn't done the weigh-in. We were just waiting, and he said, "Sir, can I see that belt for a second?" So I handed it to him. So he took it and he went like this. He says, he turned around. He said, "Everybody, here, this is a real belt. It's got weight to it, not like a loaf of bread." Well, I kind of started laughing. It was kind of peculiar the way he did it. But anyways, our belts are very well made. They're high quality leather, not vinyl like a lot of the stuff that's around, and they're durable.
Yeah. I like the center plate of the Canadian title. It's kind of neat looking. But the only knock on it I have is that blue thing is so huge.
Yeah, well, it's that wide because of that plate is so wide.
I've never seen one in person, so I don't know how big the plate. I just see the big blue
It
thing. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, it looks, but it's really not that. Just a second. Here, here's the internal.
Don's gonna show us one. Fuck it.
This
There we
this
go.
is this is in the interim belt,
Oh, okay. I like that.
and the Canadian is just a little wider.
I like that though. That's proportioned. I like that one.
Yeah, this is a nice belt,
That's
and
I really like that. I like
yeah,
the silver.
it's it's a little bit different design, but it's a beautiful belt.
Now
We hope to use it again.
what's the weight on this? Have you ever weighed them?
No, but I can tell you one thing: how heavy it is. If I ever hit you in the head with it, you'd know you got hit.
Yeah, it's gonna suck, right?
Just one second.
That's a nice belt. I really like that. I like the color of the blue in that one's really nice.
So this is the Eastern Canadian,
Here we go.
which is a little smaller.
I like that too. That looks great.
The Western's the same,
Yeah,
except different flags, right?
yeah.
See, the flags in the side plates are Eastern Canadian flags. Yeah,
I like that. That's wonderful.
yeah.
I like that. I like how it's Canadian.
The sad part about is I can't. Eventually, in our little office here in this corner over here, corner wall,
Yeah.
we plan to have one of my board members, an ace carpenter. He's going to build a shelf, and eventually we'll have every belt on it.
Okay.
But
So
belts cost money, and
yeah, they're probably not cheap, huh?
no, no, and then all that plating that you see on the Eastern, but on the international, on the Canadian, the North American, even that silver, it's all 14 karat gold plating.
Oh wow.
It's not brass.
Okay, so this is legit then.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's why it becomes costly.
You know, I went online and I was looking at the CPBC titles. The one that really caught my eye for some reason was the Atlantic title.
Yeah. We've used that a couple of times. What we do with that is we use that as a starting point for guys coming up. Like, you need one pro fight to qualify for it.
Mm-hmm.
The fight, it's a 6-round fight. It's we've had it out a couple of times, but there's not much demand for it.
That's interesting looking because it's silver with the black. It stands out. I like that one.
Yeah, yeah. It's a silver color, but it's not like the interim is a real silver plating.
Okay.
The Atlantic is like a pewter, polished pewter mold.
Okay. It was a little
And
flat.
then, yeah, but it is a nice little belt.
Well, you obviously didn't design that center plate, eh? That's the original. That's what it's been.
We, myself and the belt maker, we
Designed it.
both design
Okay.
all our belts. We put our heads together, and Terry Mullins is Premium Awards and Recognition. He guy does good work, and we sit down and we put something down, and then it's ideals just come out. Terry, what do you think it is? Well, and then I throw this in, and then we come out with something nice.
Listen, I liked all the ones you put on there. I thought were fantastic.
They're nice belts.
Good looking things. So with the CPBC, to get ranked in the CPBC, you have to have a minimum of 3 fights
3 professional fights.
in Canada.
Yeah.
So
Registered,
yeah.
and they have to be 3 fights on BoxRec and registered with it has to be the results have to be registered with a registered commission.
So you guys are doing everything above the board, 100% legit, no playing around. You want to, we've had conversations like not on the air obviously before, and you guys seem to really want to help Canadian guys get to that next level.
That's been our goal from day one. It's our mission, to try to help. There's so many fighters out there that that don't have the best of records, that are phenomenal fighters who fought everybody, all the top guys, and they get sidetracked.
Yeah.
To give you an example, Paul Bisdell was one of them. Didn't have the greatest record on paper. An awesome fighter. Could go with anybody in his weight division. And we just felt he deserved the shot, and he did. And he came through for himself and retired a 2-time champion.
Wow.
Gary Copas is another guy who's just been phenomenal in his last 7-8 fights. I mean, I watched that fight in Saskatoon when he won the international title against that big guy from France.
Yep.
And I have to be honest, up to the 5th round, I was a little worried. I said, man, this guy's humongous. And in the 6th round, Gary just turned the fight around, and in the 7th, he just demolished that guy.
Let's be real with Gary. Gary should be fighting at about 175 pounds, a light heavyweight.
Well, maybe, but Gary likes to eat.
Gary does like to eat. He doesn't like to diet. He likes to do whatever the fuck he wants. He's done well at cruiserweight, though. He's become the Canadian champion, the international champion. And he's super exciting to watch because he takes punches to the face a lot.
Yeah.
He's got a chin on him he's a wild man.
But I noticed something also. He takes them, but he rolls a lot with a lot of punches. So,
Well, he's got a fight that went down in Edmonton against a guy named Cody Cron, and that fight was fun to watch because those two just went at it.
Yeah, that one must have been way back.
It was a few years ago, probably 4 years ago, but
yeah, I never saw that one.
Cody's a tough dude too. He's kind of like I wouldn't necessarily say Cody's a boxer. He's more of an MMA guy, but he's tough as shit. He can just take punches to the face and keeps on trucking. But it was a fun fight to watch.
Yeah, that's gotta hurt after a while.
It's not good for your brain, that's for sure.
No.
But I'm glad to see Gary is he's able to get these kind of fights that he wants now. But the Jean Pascal fight was obviously that's a big fight. I feel the next step when he gets a replacement, it's probably going to be bigger. But it'll be exciting to see what will happen when Gary gets to that kind of elite level.
Yeah.
Because Pascal's not playing. He's a former world champion, right?
Exactly. WBC light heavyweight champion, I believe.
Yeah. It's a different breed when you get into that upper echelon of guys, top 10, top 20 guys, and it gets serious real quick.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun to watch. So what do we have next to look forward to with the CPBC? Like, what do we got going on? Is it going to be the Gary Copas Cody Crowley show?
That is the next show right now, November 9th. Um, we're just waiting for another opponent for Gary. The whole undercard, everything else is done.
Okay,
We got Cody Crowley fighting, I think, Uriel Hernandez.
that sounds about right.
You have Mario Perez. I don't remember the opponent's name. Lightweight international title fight. Um, Eric Barak is fighting for the North American heavyweight title
Oh wow, that
against Alberto Martinez, I believe.
that's interesting because Eric Barak's been away for a while.
Yeah, he's not rated in Canadian rankings because in Canadian rankings we have an 18-month cutoff time.
Okay,
But in international and North American rankings, we don't look at cutoff time.
okay,
So because there's such a wide uh, market of opponents, and the rankings are hard to keep up with there because there's just so many guys out there that you kind of you just add them in as they come along, because it's just it's really tough.
I've been calling for an Eric Barak Adam Braidwood fight. I'd like to see that.
Well, that would be an interesting fight because both guys have power. Eric Barak has phenomenal, but he doesn't do well with tall guy. When he fought Big Ray,
Yeah,
he just Eric's plan should have been to get inside and stay there. But how do you get in when the guy's keeping you out? With a guy like Big Ray, who's got a lot of experience,
yeah.
and he just kept Eric out, and eventually took him out. But I talked to Ray afterwards, and he said, "I'll tell you," he said, a couple of his shots grazed my nose, and he said, "The wind of the punch," he said, "I didn't want anything to do with that."
Yeah,
So
make your butthole
Eric Brack
pucker up.
has a lot of power,
Yeah,
but he's not a big heavyweight.
he's
He's
not
not.
very tall.
No, because he stood beside me, and I'm only 5'3" or 5'4" at best if I stretch, and Eric's got to be 5'8" or 5'9" at very best.
Oh yeah, Adam's 6'5".
Yeah, and Big Ray's 6'8".
Jesus, that's huge.
When you got a guy like that comes in, walks over the top rope.
Yeah. So right now, who is the Canadian CPBC heavyweight champion? Is it still Raymond Wally?
It's still Raymond Olubuwale.
He's.
He'd love to defend, but nobody doesn't seem to want to fight him.
I know a guy that wants to fight him. His name's Adam the Boogeyman Braidwood. He wants to fight everybody.
Well, I think Ray called him out.
Oh,
And
we've called out Ray on many occasions with no response. But I don't know how old Raymond is anymore. How old? He's got to be getting close to 40.
oh yeah, he's over 40.
Is he?
But the thing about Ray is he's a specimen. He doesn't drink. He doesn't do drugs. He eats healthy all the time. He's always working out, so he's always in pretty good shape. So I mean, clean lifestyle helps.
Oh yeah. What's he? 43? That's going to be my guess.
I'm not sure. I'm saying he's got to be in that area.
Up there, yeah. When was the last time he fought?
I'm thinking would have been March or April 2016, possibly.
Oh wow.
He had a couple of fights lined up, and they just fell in the water.
So,
But if there's a promoter out there that's willing to put it on, I'm sure he'll accommodate them.
I'm sure they could get it on, maybe in Quebec or something.
You never know.
But okay, so when you said the 18-month thing, that doesn't apply to the champions?
Well, we don't. we don't strip a champion because he hasn't had a fight in 18 months or more. Um, you know, I get board meetings and it's brought up. In Big Ray's situation, it's hard to vacate his title on him
Mhm.
because he's trying,
Okay.
you know. But I have a few champions that have actually turned down a fight that I should be vacating,
Oh.
but then it's a hard call. So when it comes to champions, we try to be more than flexible.
It's got to be a
You
pretty
know,
shitty thing though when you call a guy on the phone and say, "Listen, man, you're turning down too many fights. We got to take your belt."
well, if it came to that a champion turned down, uh, you're a champion. That's what you're supposed to do: defend your title.
Should be no
Uh,
questions.
yeah, it should be no question. So if it comes down to that we find out that they are turning down a lot of fights that they should, then it gives us grounds for that. But like I said, it's not something that we enjoy doing.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't be very fun. I wouldn't want to do it. I'd probably call you, Don, and be like, Don, you got to call this guy. Take his fucking belt away from him.
We've vacated some titles before, uh, mostly for the wrong reasons of the right reasons on our part, but for them accepting fights that we do not recognize or unify with, and doing these 8-round Canadian title fights.
Yeah.
It's just a no-no in our eye. It's not good for the sport.
That drives you nuts, eh?
Hmm?
Those 8-round fights drive you nuts.
Uh, and who do you blame?
Not
Do
the
you blame the
fighter.
sanction body or do you blame the commissions?
I don't know. Like the
You know, I'll give you an example. You got a fight coming October 20th
mm,
in Hamilton.
yeah.
Two guys in top shape, specimens. They're only allowed to fight 8 rounds.
One of them is your North American champion, correct?
Exactly.
Now what title are they fighting for? It's NABA?
And ABA Canada again.
Okay. I've never even seen I've seen NABA North American titles.
The NABA, the real NABA is a legitimate title up there with all the top North American titles.
Yeah.
NABF, NABO, the NABA Canada, NABA Mexico, and NABA USA. In our eye, are not real titles.
They're not affiliated with the WBA like the other one.
Uh, they are. They say that if you win the NABA Canada, you'll be rated in the WBA or NABA.
Okay.
And then what happens is, I know one champion from down here who never defended the title, was supposed to be in NABA rankings, and all it was, the rankings were there, and on the side and top it said also NABA champion, NABA Canada champion, blah blah blah. Well, that's not a ranking. You just, so
So did that NABA, because I've seen these NBA titles too. So
let's not go there.
is that was a Canadian thing though for a half a minute, right?
Well, it's the NBA. I don't know if they ever been out of Moncton or not.
They're from your
Uh,
neck of the woods.
yeah, and now it turned into the CNBA.
Oh, I've never even heard of this. This is news to me.
Well, they just added a C in front of the NBA. So, like Canadian National.
Yeah.
Well, that means the same thing.
Yeah.
Um, anyways,
That's a regional title there in Moncton, I'm guessing. They're just handing those out to every chicken head that wants to
well,
go
they
for them.
haven't. I don't think they've done title fight in the longest time. Um,
But now I've pissed Don off. He doesn't want to talk about it.
I just don't want to cause, and they do their thing, we do ours. No comment.
Is what it is, I guess. No, we don't have to worry about those titles.
Yeah, I don't want to say too much. When I hang up with you, my phone will be ringing.
Yeah, you'll be getting yelled at by somebody.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
well, what do you do? So CPBC, we got the show in Nova Scotia. Then you've got something going on in the States somewhere.
I'm working on that right now. Should have confirmation probably in the next few weeks. Somewhere's around December 15th date. We already got shows that we're working on in 2019. So some dates in February, March. You
Okay,
know,
well, here's a question that I don't know anything about. So we have a promoter, and then you're a sanctioning body, correct?
right.
Okay. So when there's let's say Cody Crowley's going to fight Joe Blow from Mexico and he's going to defend his international title. How involved are you in the event?
I'm not involved. The CPBC is not involved in the event as far as I mean, as far as the promotion part, the only thing that we require is on the poster. We try to tell them that we want at least our logo on it,
Yeah.
and also we like on the top or somewhere, so people know it is a CPBC international or national or North American title fight. So
Okay. And then do you have anything to do with the matchmaking? Like obviously you guys would have to approve the fight.
we don't have anything to do with matchmaking. The promoter comes to us and sends me a letter and ask, we'd like to this guy defend or this guy fighting for the national title against this guy, and then I usually bring it to the board. They look at it and they say yes or no. If they say no, well, then I need the reason why to come back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Then
Most
they
times they pass, unless it's something totally ridiculous.
All right. I'm guessing you could get some ridiculous things every once in a while coming through your desk, but uh,
I've had a few.
yeah. So
No,
is this a full-time job for you then or no?
well, it's a full time job with no pay.
So you
You
have a
know,
regular job then too, obviously.
I just do. I'm 63. I'm going to be 64. I'm on the verge of just trying to retire down the road. But I'm a professional musician also, 45 years. So.
Well, what kind of music do you play?
Ah, mostly we play the old, real classic 60s stuff.
Like rock?
No, the old, real classics. Supreme, Stevie Wonder, Ruby and the Romantics, the
Okay.
real old classic stuff. You
So
know,
you're not a singer, are you?
no,
What do you do then? Do you play the guitar?
I'm a bass. I play bass.
Bass? Okay. That fucking thing's taller than you, Don.
Not a stand-up bass. But those would be. I thought of buying one, at one point, but I couldn't. They're just too tall for me. They
That's
have a downsized one, but I said, I was going to play one. I'd rather have the real thing.
we get you a step ladder.
Well, that one might work, a 2 or 3 step one,
Yeah.
but I don't like heights either. So,
Oh wow.
yeah,
So do you guys go do live gigs then? Obviously.
yeah, I've got a band called the Decades.
The
We've been out a
decades.
couple times this year.
Yeah.
Uh, got a really good response from the people. They love the music, and you know, my lead singer is a lady named Janet Zuge, really good singer. She has music background. Actually, in old days, she was a drummer for another band.
Oh.
And then I have Ron Dupree, my drummer, who everybody knows, drummer for 1755, Glamour Plus Blues Band. Roger Cormier is my keyboard player. Again, he plays Glamour Plus Blues Band. And so we're all musicians from broad experience. Like myself, 46 years. I think between me and Ron, we probably have 100 years of musical experience, not
Jesus.
counting Janet and Roger.
So is this? I'm guessing that this music stuff probably makes more money than you do at the CPBC then.
It'd be a toss up. No, you don't make a lot of money playing. You do it for the passion of playing.
You love it.
Same as I do this. It's not for the money.
Yeah.
It never was for the money. It's for the passion of the sport.
Yeah. So, what is your history in boxing then?
My history in boxing.
Like
Well,
super fan, competitor, amateur?
I fought a few fights back in the old days. I never really had any proper training, so I basically went in there on balls alone more than anything.
Yeah,
Um, um, fought a guy in at the Mountain Coliseum in '89, '90. Steve the Hammer Surratt, big light heavyweight guy.
yeah.
I was a welterweight. Anyways, I don't know if you can see that baby on my arm.
Tear your bicep.
Yeah. So, I fought a few fights. I did it, I guess, to say that I did it. I didn't want to grow old and say, geez, I should have when I had the chance. I became a promoter after that for 6 years
Okay,
and never made any money. Made a couple $1,000 one fight. Broke even every other fight. So I
that's
was
good though.
fortunate. Yeah. But I was a kind of one man show. Set up my own ring, my own table. I have some of my family members help me with posters and stuff. But, you just it wasn't in my day like it is now. They got all these sponsors and they got social media and you know what I mean. We didn't have that stuff back in when I was promoting.
Yeah.
So, but I enjoyed the time that I did. I did get to do a Canadian title fight between Steve the Hammer Surratt that I had fought and Ron Savoy.
Oh,
Yeah, Ron Savoy. Actually, when he started, he came out of Tough Men on championships.
yeah.
So I went on to be a decent fighter, Won the Canadian title. I think he might have defended it a couple of times also.
Well, that's good. So you've had a history in boxing. You've promoted. You've fought with no training, which is always an amazing thing.
Well, very little training.
Very little training.
I guess I, I guess I didn't take it serious. But I started, I was 30, 35. I wasn't going anywhere. I just did it to say I did it.
Okay.
My first pro fight, I fought a guy that had like 8 or 9 pro fights already. So I was overmatched, I guess, maybe most of the time. But I wanted to fight, and I just took whoever came on. I mean, I didn't get beat up or anything. I held my own, so I guess
Yeah.
it's not, you know,
Nothing terrible.
no,
Nothing.
no regret, no regrets is what I'm saying.
So
No regrets.
2007, you take over the CPBC. What the hell possesses you to do that?
Um,
It's a lot of work.
yeah. Well, it was a lot of work. It's you know what? It wasn't a lot of work back then when we
Okay.
started it. I brought it back, but it got more complicated and more complicated, and it gets more complicated as every year comes around.
Yeah.
So,
So,
yeah.
what? Obviously, you love the sport, but it's got to be a special passion to take over a sanctioning body.
Well, somebody put a bug in my ear and said you should bring back the CPVC. So away I went.
So you have representatives now too. I've seen on your the goddamn website. But at West, you have Scotty Olson. Is he still active in that
He's
role?
still with us. I haven't done. Scotty is thanked me for keeping his name out there, which he's a legend. We
Yeah.
don't mind. He hasn't really. If the day comes that I can get a show out that way in Edmonton, I'd like to, bring him in and get to maybe shadow me to show how it's done stuff. But he enjoys just to be part of the group, which is fine with us,
Yeah.
you know.
You got Danny Mack. What's his? I know he's trying to branch off and do his own thing with his own promotion, D-Mac Promotions. Something happened with his last show. That one got canceled. Hopefully, he can get this next one off the ground. But what is
Yeah,
his?
I think he's got the right people right now, so I'm confident that Danny will pull it off. And I think it's February he's planning.
Yeah.
Well, Danny's our he's he's a rep, BC rep,
Yeah.
representative, British Columbia. We have a representative in different provinces. Some provinces we don't have any yet. So I met Danny. Me and Danny chatted. We've been friends, and we only met here. Was it last year or the year before in Saskatoon?
Yep.
So he's a great guy. Down there, doesn't like BS bullshit. So who does, right?
No.
But he doesn't put himself into conflict either. If he's going to bring a title fight, Cpbc, on his show, then he's strictly the promoter. I have to get him to sign a form, basically releasing him of his position for that 48-hour period time where he's not in any shape, way, or form involved with the Cpbc.
Yeah. That would make sense though, because then there's no fuckery going on.
Yeah.
But obviously, you guys don't go off of people's reputations by the general public. Because Danny, he's got some fucking haters.
The haters?
Oh, the haters love him. You probably got
Yeah.
some haters too, Don.
Oh, you have no idea. You have no idea. Trust me.
Do you get harassed on a regular basis?
Well, I don't allow myself to, so I just stay away from those people.
So you're fairly active on your own social media, on your own Facebook. Now, I did see that there is a CPBC Instagram, but there's some other dude that runs that. I talked to that guy the other day.
On who?
There's a CPBC Instagram account.
Oh, yeah. Would that be? I think a friend of mine runs that. He asked me if it was okay. I said, sure. JM Gauthier?
Yep, that's him.
Yeah, good guy.
Hey, nice guy. He messaged me the other day, asked me a few questions. I said, hey, yeah, cool, man. But yeah, I thought it was you for some reason.
No, he handles it. I don't know nothing about Instagram or Twitter.
You're not tweeting?
No.
You know how to work Facebook just fine.
Yeah, that's as extensive as I want to go.
That's as far as it goes.
I'm not a very techie guy, and when it comes to computers and stuff, so I don't want to bring any more undue what's the word? Stress.
Yeah, right. Well, Facebook's hard enough.
I have enough.
Yeah.
Have no hair, you can see.
Me neither. I just grow it on my face. So you got a mustache though, Don. You can grow that thing in, like fucking Tom Selleck.
Yeah, a little mustache been an original one. I grew it and never shaved it. I just trim it. So.
Just trim her down.
I had a beard once, long time ago. I'm talking. I'm 63 years old. This would have been in my probably late 20s, and I was at a party one night and kind of got bombed and passed out, and some so-called friends of mine shaved my beard off.
That's not very nice.
I woke up next morning with no beard, yeah.
Were you pissed?
They didn't do a good job to begin with. So I had to go home and finish it, and I said, I guess I won't grow anymore.
You were mad. Were you pissed off?
I was for the moment. Then I started laughing. It's a bunch of fools.
See, if somebody shaved my beard off, Don, somebody might die.
Yeah, I could see. That's a pretty nice beard.
Thank you.
I could see why you would get upset, emotionally upset.
Emotionally upset. I take care of it. I put beard oil in it. I brush it.
Yeah. Well, I can tell it's well conditioned.
Thank you. See, last night we were skinning a deer, and I got a whole bunch of deer fat in my beard because it was flaking off. It was like a fat buck. But I was a little upset because deer fat doesn't smell so good.
Yeah.
And it got in my beard. I was pissed.
Okay.
I feel like we should grow your beard back, though. Come on.
I'll give it some thought.
Just think about mull it over for a couple days.
If I do grow one like you,
yeah,
I'll have it dyed CPBC.
That's not a bad idea, Don. But if you do grow it back, I can send you beard products like the Tough Canuck Beard Company. Put beard oil in there. That's the only stuff I put in my beard, and it comes out fantastic.
Are you sending some to Mr. Braidwood? He's got a beard.
Mr. Braidwood and I are both sponsored by the same company. So We only use tough Canuck beard oil in our beards, and look at them.
Yeah.
Okay, mine used to grow in patchy, and the beard oil fixed it.
Okay.
That's a fucking lie. I've always had a thick beard.
How, how's the how's Adam Braidwood after his loss to Keene? Is he?
He's good. He's good. He's come to terms with it. We're ready to get back to business, and we'll start looking for the next one. Hopefully December we'll do something. But when you build a fight up for that long, like Adam and I were building that fight for a year and a half with Simon. Yes, it got a little bit personal. We made Simon a little bit angry, and he came out. Simon came out and fought a fantastic fight against Adam. He was aggressive. He initialized the jab. He kept that going, and he ended up knocking Adam out in the third round. The fight with Dylan was a different story, where Dylan had his number.
Yeah. Well,
Dylan's crafty, man. He's a vet.
tall guy. Dylan's got good boxing skills. I don't know if Simon didn't prepare for that fight properly. He didn't look good to me. He didn't even look in shape. Maybe underestimated Carmen. Because I know a lot of people were saying, "Oh, he's going to knock out Carmen within 3 rounds." And actually, I thought myself that it would have went the other way, because after he demolished Adam in that fashion. But anyways, Carmen surprised a lot of us.
Well, what was why people thought that Simon would destroy Dylan was, if you look at Dylan in the Milad and Miljas fight, Dylan did not look great. He was coming off Big Brother. He was obviously overweight. Like, Dylan's never been in great shape where he's had a 6-pack or anything like that, but fucking bodies don't make the fighters. But Dylan was severely out of shape for that fight. He took it. I'll give him credit. He still showed up and tried to defend his title. But the Dylan that showed up to the Simon Keene fight was a very different guy.
Well, he was in condition.
Yeah.
Like you said, the body don't make fight. And even though there's fighters that show up who don't look in shape, but they are.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this fight here, I mean, Dylan trained with a Boken. They trained the ass off of him. And he actually started to show a 6-pack, which he never had before. So he was in tremendous shape for this fight.
He looked really good. He looked really good. He was moving his head. The left hook was working wonders for him. Simon holds his right hand a little bit weird. The left hook was working, and then Dylan I thought Dylan was actually the longer fighter, won the fight on the inside.
Yeah.
So the heavyweight division in Canada is very interesting right now, and I think that we should probably dust the dirt off of Raymond Audible Wally and throw him in the mix again.
Well, as I said, Raymond is wanting to do something. Excuse me. Little sniffles this morning.
Party last night. Nothing.
Danny told me you were hilarious.
What were we talking about? Oh, Raymond Audible Wally.
Yeah.
I'm dying today. I'm tired.
And I was talking to Frankie Rill the other day.
Ooh, that's another good guy.
And he's interested in maybe challenging Ray.
I don't know how tall Frankie is. He might be like in the 6'3" department.
I think he's got to be 6 foot something, but I don't think he's 6'8".
No, Ray's huge.
I don't even think Carmen is 6'8".
Carmen's 6'7".
Yeah, so he's closer. Now, the thing about Big Ray and guys like him and Braidwood, those guys are true full-fledged heavyweights, because they're not only tall, they're massive, muscular guys.
Well, they're 250, 260-ish. Like, they're
You
fucking
know,
big, man.
like Ray at 242, 248 is ripped.
Is that what he
Washboard,
weighs?
well, that's what he came in the last fight when he fought Eric Barak.
Okay.
But he walks around at 272, uh,
So big.
268. And even at 268, I've seen him fight Martel. He's still in tremendous shape, this massive muscular. And he's got a lot of power. So, I mean, when you get nailed with a guy like that, I wouldn't want to get hit or even slapped by any of those guys.
Well, no, you're 5'3", Don.
Yeah, well,
You can get out of the way pretty easy, though.
I got a good chin, they tell me. But anyways, my days are past.
Yeah, just don't piss
I
any of
rather
them off.
I rather be on the friendship side of those guys.
Yeah, you're more interested in making friends than enemies at this point.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's a lot of fights out there. The Canadian heavyweight division is exciting right now with all these massive individuals. Frankie Real's a fantastic guy too. That guy, that he can box.
Yeah, I hope that comes true. And like you said, maybe a fight brewing with Adam and Big Ray. Just a matter of getting the promoter involved and making it happen.
Another good option for Ray, who would be his size too, is Mladen Miljas. Mladen's tall as shit.
The guy who beat Carmen?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's the NCP champion right now.
He's in the 6'6", 6'7" category, so they would be in that 240, 250-ish. He's a big man.
Yeah.
So it'd be a good fight. Now, before we get the hell out of here, Gadon, because we're running up on the hour mark, who are your champions right now? Like, how many champions do we have as Canadian champions right now?
As Canadian champions, in the heavyweight, there's Big Ray Lubuali. In the cruiserweight, there's Gary Copas. I don't think I have a light heavyweight. Super middleweight, Shaquille Finn.
Ooh, he's good.
Yeah. The Jamaican juggernaut. At 160, Nathan Millier.
Okay.
Not a good fighter. Cody Crowley at 154. Trying to think on welterweight. I don't have a Canadian champion. I have an international champion. Trying to think right off the top of my. Just a second here.
Don's gonna pull it up on his thing.
Yeah.
There's titles up for grabs though, especially like in Canada.
Oh yeah. Okay, so Raymond Ulubuali, Bobby Gunn, international champion.
Oh.
Gary Copas, Canadian international. Ryan Rozicki, North American champion. Nothing in light heavyweight. Shaquille Finn, Canadian champion. Nathan Millier, Canadian champion. Cody Crowley, international and Canadian champion. Jesse Wilcox, international champion. Let me see what else we have here. I think that's pretty much it.
That's it at the moment.
Yeah.
Ryan Rozicki, he's fighting that fight coming up here pretty quick. That North American title is going to be vacant, correct?
Yeah, sadly, they had posting on a poster 10-round title fight, and nobody was calling.
Oh.
So I had to make a call, and I called the manager, Mr. Otter, and I said, "Which title?" I said, "It's stating 10-round title fight." Well, and I could tell he was hesitant. He says, well, it's not. It's an 8. I said, "Oh, an 8." I said, "For what title?" And he tried to brush it off as the WBA.
Yeah, they don't do 8 rounds.
Canada, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I told him, I said, "Dan, I said, when you came to us, you remember?" I said, "Just follow the rules."
Yeah.
Well, here you were breaking rules. So I had to advise him that come October 20th, if Mr. Rozicki steps in the ring, we're going to have to vacate his title.
That's a shitty thing, but
Well, it's a shitty thing, and I don't like doing it, but I did it to Ali Nestor, who was a champion of us way back. Tibor Broch for the same NABA Canada. I warned his then partner, manager / trainer, Robert Bruno, that what was going to happen, and it did. And rules are rules. If you have no rules in this game as a sanctioned body, Tanner, I think you become a joke.
it's true. I agree with that. There's rules for a reason. Not
I
mad
mean,
at it.
rules are meant to be
Broken?
bent sometimes and flexed a little bit,
Yeah.
but you got to follow your rules.
Well, I know that the nicest guy in boxing is probably Gary Kopus. He doesn't talk shit about anybody, but he does not like Ryan Rozicki.
No, I know there's a lot of flack right now of Ryan Rozicki saying basically mocking because there's a show in Sydney, and it's because he's not on it. It's a joke. I mean, Sydney always was, long before Mr. Rozicki was even born, a great fight town. They had in that area way back in the day some good fighters that come out of there. Johnny Devinson from Glace Bay was a Canadian bantam or featherweight champion, which we honored.
Bantamweight, 1959.
Yeah, there you go. You done your history.
I just
So,
met him.
anyways, yeah, well, yeah, he's a great guy.
Awesome. He's hilarious.
Yeah, and I basically said, I said, why are you laughing out loud? I said, Sydney deserves this show just as much as any other region. It's good for them, put them on the map. They want to keep the game going over there. The promoter, Glenn Williams. And
so Ryan's upset that he's not on the card.
Well, he walked away from he had a signed contract for a Canadian title fight against Gary Kopus. Okay, it was done. We had a date, everything locked in, and he takes a fight in Hamilton, the tune-up fight. And I knew in the back of my mind what I thought was going to happen, and it did. They got in his ear, and he come back. From what I'm hearing, he didn't even call his former trainer, manager, promoter. He texted him, told him he was moving on. So, to me, that's not the way to do things. You make a phone call and you sit down, you meet, and you talk it out. I can understand maybe he wanted to go on to bigger, better things, but I mean, he left it all behind.
Yeah, he's not.
Canadian title is what he wanted. A real Canadian title, 10 rounds.
Yeah, and he's the North American champion right now.
Yeah, because of his former, who got him where he's at within a short period of time. Anyways,
whatever.
Maybe he'll do well with these guys. I don't know a lot about Tree Lions promotion. I wish him well, but I mean, shouldn't be mocking your hometown.
No.
In Sydney, ? Laugh out loud. Well, why not?
He got blasted online anyway by my friend from fucking Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Chad Selkirk. He gave him shit, so.
Big Chad.
Yeah.
I like Chad. He's a great guy.
Yeah, we're almost twins.
Yeah, you guys, he's got a bushier beard that was longer.
Huge.
Oh, I tease him a lot. Every time I talk to him or he posts stuff, I put, nice pic, needs a shave.
I call him Blackbeard.
He's a great guy.
Captain Blackbeard, that's what I call him. I like him. He's a nice guy. He's funny.
Yeah.
I actually met him with Johnny Devison at KO Boxing in Edmonton.
Okay.
I linked up with those guys. They're all cool, man. I'm going to go down there and do some training with them here pretty quick.
Down Saskatoon?
Yeah.
Yeah. I got his T-shirt on our wall, Black Star Boxing Club.
Yeah. You got a lot of shit on the wall over there. You got Mayhem at the Memorial. That's my hometown of Peterborough, Ontario. That's where I was
Yeah.
born. I don't like to tell
Here,
people I'm from there, though.
I'll just spin it around here a little bit so you
Yeah.
kind of see some stuff.
Hocus
Again,
Pocus. I got the same shirt. Gary sent me one of those.
I got Hocus Pocus. I got Team Atomic page promotion poster here. I don't know if you can see it.
Old Dennis Page. Yeah.
Yeah. Shows here on this wall. I got.
Here we go.
If you see the old, can you see the poster behind the chair here? That
Yeah.
was an Eddie Nestor fight we did. Actually, Abdu Sal versus Jorge Banos for the Canadian lightweight title
Huh.
back in
On a boxing
2010.
MMA cross show.
2010. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Cody Crowley
Yeah.
and the homecoming. Now, I see a CPBC medal up there. Is that what that was?
That's our Canadian logo.
Okay. What are those for?
We usually give those to fighters that are fighting for the Canadian title first time, like a souvenir.
Okay, so even if they win or lose, they get a participation medal.
Yeah, they get that medal as a souvenir.
That's nice. I like
Got
that.
side a little bit to the right there. I don't know if you can see on top of homecoming. I got signed pictures of Matthew Hilton.
Yep.
I met I got the Ontario Boxing Hall of Fame up top there. I met and then I got. Can you see that picture of our former Canadian champion,
Yep.
Francis Lafreniere,
Yep. Right up at the top.
the people's champion? And coming around this way, I have some other. I don't know if you can see the gloves behind me here.
The white ones. Yep.
Yeah, these were gloves that Impact Boxing did benefit for Big Brother's Big Sister.
Okay.
We were involved in I think 3 of those shows.
Huh. That's
At
good.
the Hyatt Regency Hotel,
I like that.
Vegas style show. Beautiful setup. Yeah.
All right, Don. Let's wrap this fucking thing up. We're over an hour. Do you have anybody that you want to thank other than Danny Mac? Fuck him. Just kidding.
Oh, my team, first of all, my board members, they've been with me from day one. And, they're the brains behind this. Really, it's not me. I'm a bit of a hothead sometimes. And, they make all the right decisions.
Mhm.
They're an advisory board. And a few times I've not taken their advice and they come back to hit me in the ass. So I have to tip my hat off to everybody that's on the team, all the reps, even the officials. They're all great people. Dressing room supervisors, and then the fans for sure. I mean, they're the ones that keep the sport going. And some of the teams that we work with, like Triple C Promotion, Cody and Evan, they're fantastic people. Decada Promotions, the same, Cpbc people. And the Grant brothers, phenomenal people.
They're good. I like them.
Howard and Otis, love those guys. Howard calls me a lot, or I call him, Mr. Collette. I said, Howard, don't just call me Don. Okay, Don. Then he calls me next time, Mr. Collette. But I guess it's respect,
Yep.
It goes both ways. Page promotions. Dennis a little slow at doing things sometimes, but a great guy. I didn't know it. He's a brother of the former world champion, Greg Page.
Really?
Yeah. Do you remember Greg Page?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's his brother.
Wow.
Yeah. They're from Louisville, Kentucky originally.
Huh. That's interesting. What the fuck he's doing in Saskatchewan, I have no idea.
We've been there for years.
Why?
I don't know, but life is strange, right?
Life is strange.
And then, there's probably people I'm forgetting here that, that I should,
Well, you didn't think
like I
Danny
said,
Mac.
huh? Well, Danny Mac's part of the team, so he knows. Yeah,
You guys are best friends.
yeah. I love Danny. He's a nice guy.
I get
He's
a kick
smart.
out
You
of him.
know.
I get a kick out of him. He makes me laugh on a regular basis. Like something will
Yeah,
go on TV and he'll fucking send me a message just losing his shit, and then
yeah.
I I I just laugh. Sometimes I don't even write him back. Just like fuck, man. Can't change the world, Danny. I'm sorry.
No, it's going to take more than one or two or three of us.
Yeah.
It's, you know, um, well, besides that, I mean, we're like I said, we're still here. We were chopped up years and years ago, said we wouldn't last, and here we are heading into 2019. Probably going to close this year off with a bang. This big show in Sydney and show in the States, and you know,
You done?
I think so.
Okay. Well, let's fucking get out of here then. Do you want to talk to me not on the air?
Uh,
Or
yeah,
fuck?
we can for a minute.
Okay, cool. All right, guys, that's the final shot.